It is not just your rates on the sticks. And one more bonus habit that might be the most important of all. Let's fix them.
What's up, pilots? Every flight is a lesson. Most pilots don't realize they're making these mistakes. They're small, but they have a big impact on your progress. These habits apply to any drone you're flying, whether it's 5-inch, the Avara, or Neo, or anything in between. In this video, I'm sharing 5 habits that probably holding you back, plus a bonus 6 that might be the most important of them all. These are the things that I wish someone had told me when I start flying. I'm about to dive down into rates. Habit 1 will be the longest, but once we go through it, the rest will fly by. Stick around. Let's get to work. First habit, using default or copied rates. Rates are personal. Copying someone else's rates might not work for you because your fingers might be different than theirs. In this demonstration, I'm using a 5-inch open prop, but same settings apply for the Avara and Neo. The numbers translate the same way. The only difference is the value that you choose. Let me show you what each rate settings means on Betaflight. Alright, let me show you my setup here. I have a cooling fan to cool down the O4 unit so it won't get hot on the bench. I have a RC3 DJI. It doesn't matter which RC you have. They're all going to be working the same here for us. And I have the DJI Google 3. And from there we're going to go ahead and dive into Betaflight. Okay, let's go ahead and connect to the flight controller. Let's go down to pit tuning and let's go to rate profile. I want to show you something here on the review over there. So when I move the remote controller, as you see, it's turning over there exactly how I'm moving with the controller. I am using actual rate type in Betaflight. That means the numbers I enter are actual degree per second. When I set max rate to 360, that means when I hold the stick fully to one side exactly 1 second, the drone will rotate 360 degrees, which is a complete circle. When I set it up to 720, the drone will rotate 2 full circles in 1 second. You can see exactly how fast the drone will spin just by looking at the numbers. Alright, let's look at the center sensitivity. Controls how sensitive the stick feel around the center. So at the center, this is how it feels. Higher RC rate, more responsive around center. Low RC rate, less responsive around the center. The maximum rate. The maximum rate is control the maximum rotation speed at full stick deflection. Higher rate, faster flips and rolls. Lower rates, slower flips and rolls. As far as the Expo goes, controls the curve shape between the full stick. Higher Expo equals soft center, smoother around center. Lower Expo, more leaner, more direct feel. And let's look at the throttle mid. The throttle mid defines the stick position where the drone hover. Set it to match your drone hover point. Example, 024 means hover on 24%. So my drone hover at 24%. This centers the throttle curve at hover, giving you equal stick travel above and for climbing and descending. Throttle Expo, the next one is the Throttle Expo. Control the curve shape around the hover point. Higher Expo software, softer respond around center, more resolution for small correction. Lower Expo, more leaner, more direct feel. Alright, let's go ahead and look at each rate. Let's play a little bit with the rates here. So on the max rate, let's say if I have my max rate 250, okay, that means when I turn, see the roll, how fast it is? It's 1 second. Here is 1 second. Here is 1 second. Let's say just for the heck of it we do 1200. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. You see how that makes different? So let's go ahead and look at the pitch, for example. Right now, on the slow pitch, that means when I'm moving slowly, you see how it's pitching? In the slow, because it's 200. So let's increase this number to 700. So I am moving slowly, but it's moving actually much faster now. So that's what it does, the center sensitivity. Let's look at the max rate on the pitch, for example. Let's go to 1200. Here's 1 second. Look, crazy. You could never fly like this out there in the world. So this is way better than the flight simulator, because this one gives you exactly how it feels, and I'm explaining in a second. Let's look at the yaw. So right now I have 160 to 650. So 1 second. See, this is 1 second. If I decrease this one to 200, let's say, look, 1 second. 1 second. And it's barely moving. So what I do is, this is how the way I figure out my rates. So look here. So this is what I do. I come in here and I say, okay, I want to do 180, or actually 360. I need to stop right there. So I could probably use a little bit faster on the roll. But again, remember that your fingers also need to adjust to it, not only the rates. The rates will give you the best shot, but your fingers are the one that's actually gonna adjust to it, and then later figure out how you do those rates. So if I want to go forward flip, for example. So I came back the same position, back flip. So here, I am just very comfortable. Now I could go fly and do all kind of maneuvers with this, and I'm very comfortable. So change the numbers. So now on the Expo gives you like more resolution here in the middle. So if you have, let's say, Expo 0, that means when you move, it's just gonna move right away. That means if I'm flying and my finger is shaking a little bit, let's say shaking like a little bit, then the drone is gonna be shaken at the same time. So there is no play, at all. But let's say your Expo is 1, which is the maximum. So look here, like I'm moving and it's barely moving with me. So there is more play in the middle. So going back to the original 25, so that means when I'm flying, and if I have a little bit jiggling here, it won't affect so much the drone. So my finger can still shake a little, but it's actually not affecting the drone. And that's gonna help you with, especially if you fly in cinematic and you want to get the perfect shot. Let's talk about the mid throttle. So 24 right now is what's my hover point is. Meaning at 24% here, at 24%, let's go at 24%, I will have more resolution. Meaning if I'm flying close to the ground, and right now I'm at 24 on the throttle, and I just, I move a little, it's not gonna affect it so much, where if my fingers shake a little bit, I might hit the ground. So if my finger shakes a little bit, I'm close to the ground, then just a little bit move. If I don't have the throttle mid at 24, it will hit the ground and it will crash. So I need more play. That's what I probably call it, more play, right when I'm at the hover point, where if I'm going close to the ground and I'm flying, that a little bit of movement is not gonna affect so much the altitude of the drone. And the Throttle Expo, on the Throttle Expo is the same thing. So it gives you more resolution whenever the number is higher. So if I have it at 1, you see now, look here, this is all like I'm moving right and left, but it's barely moving. It's barely moving down here. So it gives you more resolution, but that's too much. That's not good. And if it's 0, that means also your throttle is going to be a lot more sensitive, all throttles. So I figure at 35 it's giving me the best of the two worlds, where I do cinematic, and at the same time, if I'm close to the ground, I have that little bit of play in the throttle that's gonna allow me to not hit the ground easily. So if my finger shakes for some reason, the drone will still fly straight. Look at it down there. I am moving, my shaking, like I'm purposely shaking the throttle, and it's barely over here giving you the actual throttle. And that's where you want to do with the Throttle Expo. Remember, rates give you the best shot at getting your control feel right, but they are not magic fix. The real fine-tuning comes from training your fingers. Rates will reduce the twitch, but only your finger can eliminate it. Think of rates as foundation and your finger control as the polish. You need both to fly well. Second habit, standing while flying. This is one of the most overlooked habits. When you stand, your body naturally sway. You might not even notice it, but the sway translates directly to an attended stick movement. Your arms have to work hard to stay steady, and your thumbs pick up every little shift in your balance. Let's watch this video.
Ooh, I almost fell down. It's really I got dizzy for a second.
When you sit, your arms are more stable. You have a solid foundation for precise control. Your elbows can rest on your knees or the armrest. Let's look again here.
Okay, another dive, because I want to make sure it's me or the drone. Something getting dizzy here. Oh my god.
The armrest, which locks your arm in place and reduces micro movement. Try it. You will notice the difference immediately. And if you are wondering why so many pilots stand, it's because in the old FPV days, signal was poor and standing helped maintain line of sight. For analog pilot, that's still the case. But if you are flying digital, that is no longer necessarily. The habit stuck, but it's time to rethink it. The third habit, not understanding wind. Wind affects your flight path, battery life, and landing approach. Headwind drains your battery faster and makes your return time longer. Crosswind pushes you off course and makes it harder to hold the line. Let's watch this short video.
To be a good pilot, you have to understand the wind effect on your drone. You have to. If you don't, you wouldn't be able to fly it safe. Why? Because you need to understand what is it that you need to do compensate for that wind. Because if not, let's say I'm not compensating right now, I could hit that tree. But in my mind, I know the wind is coming from the left, so I keep a little bit. There are two ways you can deal with this. Either you crab with the wind like this, or you just put the nose a little bit to the side where you have a forward movement, but you actually turn a little bit to the left. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So now if I wanted to go straight, see how the nose is going to the left, even though I'm going toward that white car? And that's how the way I compensate for the wind.
Always take off and land into the wind, just like an airplane. Before you take off, check the wind direction. Look at trees, flags, or use a windsock. If the wind is too strong for your skill level or your drone capability, don't fly. It's not worth the risk. The fourth habit, thumbing the sticks. I used to thumb too. It's how most people start, but thumbing can cause shakes, especially when you are nervous or worried. Switching to pinching gives you more precision and control. It takes time to get used to, but it's worth it. Let's watch this short video.
And what I meant by that is I'm going to be doing pinching instead of thumbing. Lately, I've been noticing that when I'm flying thumbing, especially when I turn on here, like my finger shakes. I don't know what's going on, especially when I get worried a lot. So I decided to go ahead and start flying. Actually, it's a hybrid pinching.
You don't have to switch overnight. Try hybrid pinching first. Rest your thumb on top and use your index finger to steady the stick. It's good middle ground. Fifth habit, skipping pre-flight checks. Before every flight, check your props. Make sure they're tight and they're not damaged. Check your antennas connection. Make sure they are tight. Double check on your fail-safe settings. Make sure they are active. Wait for GPS lock before takeoff. After landing, double check. Make sure the motors are not very hot or hard to touch from the heat. It takes only 30 seconds. It's very cheap insurance. Bonus habit, the simulator gap. Simulator teach you basic things. Once you learn the basic things, you need to go out in real life. Let's look at this example here on Facebook that real people actually writing about this. Am I the only one who flies fine IRL in real life and then like crap in the sim, even with the same rates and transmitter? Am I missing something? And this pilot flies fine in real life, but not in the sim. This proves that the sim does not translate. Let's look at this other comment. 50 hours in the sim, still struggling. This is the gap. I have a question for all of you who are learning to fly. I've been at it for about 2 months now, and I have around 50 hours on the sticks between liftoff and Volisod drone and DRL sims. I feel like sometimes I am pretty dialed in and can maneuver and go where I want to go accurately, and then other times it's like my first week again and I can barely do basic turns or splitters without crashing. I would think that the longer you practice, the better you get, but in my case I feel like I go backward a lot. Is that something you have also experienced while learning to fly? It's getting very frustrating. 50 hours in the sim, that does not translate. This is real gap. The sim does not translate perfectly. Real flight teaches you more. In 10 packs, you can learn more than 50 hours in the sim. Pick one habit to work on next time you fly. Let me know in the comment which one surprised you the most. I wish you happy flying. See you on the next one.